Good morning. Would everyone please rise, and gentlemen, remove your caps for our national anthem. be seated. Mr. Bosnato, esteemed trustees, Mr. Hanford, faculty, parents, guests, friends, and most importantly, members of the class of 2014, good morning and welcome to the 158th commencement exercises of Elgin Academy. I am honored to have the privilege of beginning our ceremony this morning, a special day for all involved, but especially for the 32 graduates seated to my right. My responsibility is to welcome all of you assembled here today to our beautiful campus, and I do this as a representative of the tremendous group of educators seated behind me. Seniors, I also cherish my opportunity to provide you with one final lesson in your time at Elgin Academy. I must admit, however, that I had a bout of writer's block heading into this speech. That is not to imply that I had nothing to say to you, but instead that I had too much to say, and no succinct vehicle in which I could summarize my thoughts. Therefore, I relied upon the old adage, write what you know best, and suddenly I knew what I wanted to say and how best to express it. As you may know, I've been a mathematics teacher for almost 20 years now. Math has been a passion of mine since high school, and all those students, not EA students mind you, stereotypically ask, when am I ever going to use this stuff? I have never been at a loss to apply mathematics to numerous realms. Therefore, the theme of this next part is, if I could hope for your lives to be a mathematical function, which function would I wish for you the most? I first considered the simplest function, a horizontal line. What a boring place to live, however. Too much consistency and never any hope for change. I then considered a linear function with a positive slope. Who wouldn't want to live on an upward path with no bound? But is that realistic for life? And would you really be heading anywhere concrete, or just out to infinity and beyond? So then a sine function came to mind. A little more realistic perhaps, but filled with too many ups and downs. Finally, I settled upon a function that is not studied widely in high school mathematics, but it does pop up from time to time in upper level math and science courses. A logistic function. A logistic function has an infinite domain, which represents my hopes that you enjoy a long life. It is bounded by two horizontal asymptotes, one below the function and one above the function. A logistic function with positive slope rises slowly at first, and then quickly, and then slowly toward that upper asymptote. As the x values or time progresses, the function becomes infinitesimally close to that upper bound, but it never reaches it. And yes, this is the function I wish for you. You see, that upper bound to me represents perfection. While we all may share differing views of what exactly the concept of perfection entails, I hold a strong view that perfection should not, and in fact cannot, be attained. Those who most strive for perfection and understand its true nature recognize that they will never attain it, while those who think they have achieved perfection fall short and refuse to grow further. I'm now going to excite the group of educators behind me by making what is known as a cross-curricular connection. During an interview, William Faulkner was once asked what makes a great novelist. He responded in part, always dream and shoot higher than you know you can do. Do not bother just to be better than your contemporaries or your predecessors. Try to be better than yourself. I'd like to think that Faulkner understood the concept of a logistic function, where each successive point is higher than the previous one, even if that growth is very small at times. But enough talk of humanities. Let's end this concept where it began, with glorious mathematics. Class of 2014, what I hope most for you in this world is that you live your life like a logistic function, always pursuing, but never attaining, perfection in all that you do. And in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pride that I present to you Elgin Academy's 158th graduating class and welcome you to this occasion. At academic institutions across the country at this time of year, it is tradition that people hear reflections from valedictorians. For important reasons, that person occupies a special position at any institution where people learn. That person is the chief academic and the resident student scholar, and the right to be called such only comes with a combination of effort, curiosity, diligence, and native ability. Defined by these or any other terms, Elaine Balassi is an excellent valedictorian. Both our community and the academic world outside of Elgin Academy have recognized Elaine for her focus on challenging herself and consistently mastering her goals. Even a shortened list of her accomplishments is impressive. A 4.0 GPA, School Excellence Awards in United States History, English, and Social Studies, recipient of the Dartmouth College Book Award in 11th grade, and a National Merit Finalist. Her teachers have praised her for her strong writing, deep understanding, and extensive historical content knowledge. Miss Merrill notes that Elaine is a natural with the English language. She pays attention to the right details, to the right emotions, to the right words for the situation. These sort of accomplishments would be impressive if Elaine were the sort of person who only studied and spent all of her time in books without exploring other interests. This is far from the case. Elaine is an accomplished artist whose multi-panel mural has been on display in the Writer Center. She has been an award-winning member of our Model United Nations team. She remains informed and passionate about global events. Finally, Elaine helped create a new organization at Elgin Academy this year that will hopefully last for years to come. SAFE, or Students Allied for Equality, is a group dedicated to supporting students of all genders and races and to educating others about the challenges their peers face. Elaine's courageousness and dedication recently culminated in a poised presentation from her and a peer to the full EA faculty, in which they educated us about how to promote acceptance of all students. Elaine, we are so proud of your efforts and have enjoyed having you in our classes. More than that, we have benefited from your efforts to make us better in so many ways. We can't wait to hear the ways that you bring your zeal for academics, your passion for social justice, and your innate curiosity to American University, and know that you will make that fine university better, as you have done for us. We can't wait for you to come back and tell us all about your experiences. For now, though, we are happy that we do not have to wait any longer to hear what you have to share with us. Please join us on the stage to deliver the 2014 valedictory address. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce our 2014 valedictorian, Elaine Balassi.
Mr. Masnado, esteemed trustees, Mr. Hanford, faculty, parents, guests, friends, and most importantly, members of the class of 2014. Thank you for allowing me to fill the next few moments of your life with my words. It is an honor to be giving this speech, and I am grateful to have had the experience of attending Elgin Academy these past 7 years. I would especially like to thank our teachers, who not only imparted information to us, but equipped us with a gift even more valuable, the tools to teach ourselves for the rest of our lives. I am convinced that within each one of us, and existing in common among us all, there is something capable of affecting change. It reaches across time and space, illuminating the soul of anyone who has ever acted out of nothing but compassion for another human being, shared among all those who work to create a better world. I know this first because I have seen it take shape. My own commitment to social and environmental justice has always been inspired by the work of activists and freedom fighters around the world. I have been fortunate enough to witness something consciously compassionate develop in friends and acquaintances as we have grown and matured these past years. I do not believe anyone is exempt from it or beyond its reach, except through the deliberate formation of walls between such a person and the community and world around them. I know this also because something about being human has inspired people across great distances of space and time to mobilize for the sake of the same cause. From the French Revolution to the Arab Spring, from the civil rights movement to Occupy Wall Street, human beings have used their actions and their lives to move their societies in the direction of justice and human dignity. In between these breaks in the old order, beneath the veneer of uneasy quiet that follows any unsuccessful uprising, are those actions which uphold our capacity to remake our world and keep it alive in the most hopeless moments. There may be revolution in the hands that raise a flag and light a spark, but there is also revolution in the hands that feed the hungry, mend a wound, teach a child. The only imperative is to use your capacity for creating change, to move compassion and justice forward into the world, and by doing so, move the world forward. For a world in which democracy still inspires, in which doctors cure diseases that were once death sentences, in which each act of resistance leads to a new realization about the humanity we share, this cannot be a world that digs itself deeper and deeper into a hole. No, the motion is forward. Slowly, clumsily, with as many false turns as true and as many steps back as ahead, but forward. And it does so because of the commitment and generosity of all those who have worked for justice and freedom and love, connected by the cause and the humanity they share, around the world and across history. I speak to all who are listening when I say it is now our turn to build upon the foundations created by those who have worked and fought before us. Within each one of us, and existing in common among us all, there is something capable of building revolution. And know this, revolution is not a word I use lightly. I would not use it if I were not convinced that a fundamental change in our society is necessary to provide our souls with room to develop and love and exist. With each grim headline and each cry of need ignored, I am increasingly certain that there is no other word for the thing we need. There is no use denying the urgency of every moment when we are surrounded by the realities of economic and social injustice and environmental devastation. Perhaps we stand at a point where ideas that seemed so sturdy in the past can carry us no further. Perhaps those ideas had no business carrying us anywhere in the first place. But in the gaps and flaws in the structures of our society, we might finally have the space to build something new, something that will stand not because alternatives are unimaginable, but because it is truly just and beneficial. I bring you no plans of action, no concise programs, and very well, since this is not the place for them. I know little of the form a revolution of my generation might take, whether we will be conscientious and committed enough to guide ourselves gracefully, peacefully, into new ways of thinking and living. The revolution I am offering you today is nothing less than the building of a society in which compassion is the most important value. It is now upon us to see it through. I know this as well. The source, the motivation, the foundation of the changes we create must be our shared humanity and our shared world. The mere physical fact of our existence connects us across time and space, the reality that we share a planet and the ecosystems it contains. We belong to communities, shared spaces of thought and presence, and it is the strength and well-being of these communities that allow us to live full lives. Community is not a recipe for conformity, as some fear. A society that revolves around an unattainable, non-existent center is an unhealthy one indeed. Instead, let's be interconnected, unique individuals, and let no individual go uncared for. The strength of our communities is the foundation that allows each individual to thrive. This is not an insistence that everyone become an activist and protest in the streets. For one thing, it would be very impractical to direct everyone toward the same form of action because we each have such singular talents and interests. However, belonging to an interconnected global community, as we inescapably do, brings with it certain imperatives. First and simply, remember that we share the world with each other. Remember that there is nothing great in walls between souls, and nothing honorable in a success that comes at a community's expense. Let's eliminate injustice and apathy from our communities. Use whatever gifts with which you find yourself, whatever path towards which your soul is drawn, to build a compassionate world. Finally, I give you the words of Nigerian human rights activist Hafsa Abiola. Guard your light and protect it. Move it forward into the world, and be fully confident that if we connect light to light to light, and join the light together of the 1 billion young people in our world today, we will be enough to set our whole planet aglow. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor today to introduce our commencement speaker, Mr. John Weck, class of 1973. Mr. Weck is a history professor at Lincoln Land Community College in Springfield, Illinois, and has taught at numerous other colleges in the past, always with a concentration on various aspects of United States history. After graduating from EA, Mr. Weck earned numerous degrees, an AAS in Hospitality Management, a BA in U.S. History from St. Olaf, an MA in History from Northern Illinois, and an MA in Historical Administration from Eastern Illinois University. During his 30 years of business in the Fox Valley area, Mr. Weck was the lead organizer of the Prairie State Bank in Marengo, and he is past president of the Illinois State Historical Society. In addition, he is a lieutenant colonel, retired, in the Army National Guard. Mr. Weck and his wife Diane have been active in EA for many years. They served as extravaganza chairs, and Mr. Weck is a past member of the Board of Trustees. Their 2 children are also EA alum. Jennifer is a member of the class of 2002, and Courtney the class of 2003. In addition, their son-in-law, Rich Weckstein, is a member of the class of 2002. Most recently, Mr. Weck played a lead role in helping us coordinate the celebration of the 175th anniversary of our charter. He curated the exhibit in Sears Gallery, wrote the comprehensive history of the school that was used as the basis for many of our events, and served as a willing resource for faculty and students as they prepared. No one has a better perspective to bring to this occasion, especially in this milestone year, and we are so pleased that he has agreed to speak. Mr. Weck, would you please join us on the podium?
Appreciate it. Good morning, class of 2014. What a great day, and greetings to all of you. Thank you for attending. It is indeed an honor for me to be on campus again and to speak before the Elgin Academy family of faculty, friends, administrators, trustees, and alums on this very happy and very significant occasion. This is a very special celebration as we recognize all of the dedication, hard work, and hours of study that you, the class of 2014, have put forth. And now you are graduating during EA's 175th year. 175 years of tradition, innovation, and excellence in academic achievement. Congratulations. So, class of 2014, do you have some time? I mean, do you have time to contemplate your remarkable achievement? Because this is a remarkable achievement. Time, you know, is the one truly unconquerable component of life. Most people think of money and material success as the true measure of achievement. And to a great degree, they are. Everyone should have good food and warm clothing and a comfortable home. And everyone should reap the benefits of a solid education, a productive job, and have an enjoyable vacation now and again. So, material success is important. Indeed, it is. But really, do we have the time? Do we have the time and the ability to recognize that we, all of us, have a special responsibility to take a leadership role in this global environment that we inhabit? All of us have this responsibility because fortune has embraced us. We, all of us, have had our lives shaped by the best faculty on earth. A faculty composed of caring, dedicated humanitarians armed with years of experience, many advanced degrees, and the best pedagogy known. Our EA faculty, furthermore, are practitioners of crafts that they love. And as we have learned from them and have been shaped by them, we must now take the time to better this world. So, if you have the time, I'll take the next 11 minutes or so to discuss how it was that Elgin Academy became the nurturing educational force that it is today. In 1835, the same year that Alexis de Tocqueville published his landmark book, Democracy in America, a man named James T. Gifford was seeking a town site with timber, freshwater springs, and prairie resources. On April 11th of that year, Gifford found what he was looking for and remarked, quote, "The Fox is the finest stream I ever saw," end quote. And so, Elgin was founded. Later, due to strenuous efforts of Gifford and other Elgin leaders, Elgin Academy was granted a charter by the Illinois General Assembly on February 22nd of 1839. The 7 charter members of the Board of Trustees agreed that the school would, quote, "not require any particular religious faith," end quote, of faculty and staff and students. And in another radical departure for the time, the board also agreed that girls should have the same courses of study as boys. Very different for the 1830s. From our inception then, Elgin Academy has been both non-denominational and dedicated to inclusion. The 1840s, however, were lean years financially. According to E.C. Lovell, quote, "the times were too hard and the money was too scarce," end quote. Some things never change. In many frontier settlements like Elgin, families who were normally averaging 7 people per cabin would inhabit a 1 or 2 room cabin 16-foot square on land that cost $1.25 per acre. But by 1854, Elgin's population was increasing and citizens voted to become an incorporated city. The well-known Dr. Joseph Tefft was elected Elgin's first mayor. Now, Tefft was a strong leader and a man of vision. And as railroad service approached the area, Tefft addressed the EA Board of Trustees. On August 12, 1854, Tefft demanded, quote, "we must have the academy, for Elgin needs it, and I promise you, gentlemen, to exert every energy to establish and maintain it." Also serving on EA's board that year were Benjamin Raymond, a railroad promoter and businessman, as well as the Reverend Adoniram Joslin, who was an ardent and fiery free soiler and temperance advocate, an anti-slavery advocate. Joslin, in fact, would later assist in relocating freed slaves to Elgin against strong local opposition. Under Tefft's leadership, the board began fundraising in earnest by raising $1,300 in cash and selling $2,000 worth of stock in $50 increments. And they were frugal. They used recycled stock certificates from a failed company, just lined out the Plank Road company and penciled in EA. Saved every buck. The trustees were able to purchase the property now known as the Hilltop Campus, where we are today. $7,800 worth of additional stock was sold, allowing the completion of Old Main in 1855. And on December 1st of 1856, EA officially opened. The board's instructions to EA's first headmaster, Robert Blenkiron, were clear and concise, and very much to the point. Blenkiron was to, quote, "maintain an institution of moral character and a high order of learning," end quote. Blenkiron did this assisted by 4 able teachers who taught ancient languages, mathematics, rhetoric, English, natural sciences, and shorthand. 4 fireplaces supplied heat, Candlelight and kerosene lanterns provided light. Students hauled water from a nearby well, and all used nearby outhouses for sanitation. In this era, before established curricula and standardized pedagogical structure, students could select their own courses and stay in school for as long as they wanted to, or not. EA classes were well attended for several years, but then a national tragedy struck. At 4:30 a.m. on April 12th of 1861, the Confederacy attacked Fort Sumter in Charleston Harbor, choosing the path of treason and war in order to protect the brutal but lucrative system of human slavery. 11 states began a bloody 4-year conflict that would eventually claim the lives of over 1 million Americans. Elgin Academy would be a big part of that awful conflict, as 153 students, teachers, administrators, and trustees abandoned civilian pursuits to fight for the Union. 19 of those would never return. Among the dead were Samuel Anderson and Edward Barker, killed on the same day on April 1st, 1862 at the Battle of Shiloh. Louis Turtelot of Dundee was returning from Vicksburg when he died of typhoid fever on March 20th of 1863. And at least 10 more EA men would die from the effects of untreated wounds, exposure, and traumatic stress shortly after the war. Uncounted casualties, these men, like our veterans of today who paid the ultimate price, were quickly forgotten by their nation and by their fellow countrymen. Finally, on Memorial Day, May 29th of 1909, a peace monument was dedicated to these men before a throng of 600 Elgin citizens gathered in front of Old Main. As you leave this ceremony today, please visit their monument and reflect upon their sacrifice. It's actually right in front of Old Main, so when you guys leave to get your cars, take a look at it. It's pretty interesting. While 29 members of the EA community lost their lives in this war, one other emerged a hero. Captain Leverett M. Kelly was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor for his heroic actions at the Battle of Missionary Ridge in 1863. Kelly saw combat in 17 major battles during the war and afterward had successful careers in business and in government. Kelly died in 1924 at the age of 83 and is buried in Arlington National Cemetery. Post-war America saw tremendous energy and expansion. Balloon frame construction, railroad expansion, industrialization, increased immigration, and progressive technology drove business and drove EA. Amid this period of energy and expansion, Amos and Susan Sears came to EA in the fall of 1870, bringing with them unusual equipment and experience. The Sears energy and teamwork, coupled with the school law of 1892, which actually required formal examinations for teachers for the first time, propelled the academy to new heights. Courses of study were reorganized and regular classes were established. In 1872, Laura R. Davidson was the first EA student to receive an actual diploma. Lewis Skinner followed in 1873, and by the next year, 1874, 247 students crowded Old Main. Manual training courses were added in 1887, and Lovell Hall, a gift of Lucy Lovell, opened to students in 1888, just 1 year before Jane Addams and Ellen Gates Starr opened Hull House in Chicago. At this time in America, sports were very popular, and Elgin was no exception. The EA football team was established in 1891 and spurred the development of orange and black as our school colors, and also was the impetus behind the Elgin Academy hymn. By 1903, EA had become part of Northwestern University, and by 1908, the Academy endowment had reached $45,000, a significant sum for that period. In 1908, a pamphlet declared that the Academy's goal was, quote, the development of thinkers whose minds were carefully trained and whose characters are distinguished by justice, earnestness, moral force, and mutual helpfulness, end quote. Certainly, this was a call to action for those generations, and many of them did have the time to better their world. After a devastating fire in Old Main in 1911, Judge Nathaniel Sears and his wife, EA's first graduate, Laura R. Davidson Sears, adopted the Academy as their primary charitable cause. Their many gifts over many years allowed the endowment to build, allowed the purchase of land for campus expansion, and allowed the construction of Sears Hall in 1940. The crown jewel, though, among the Sears many gifts, is just south of us in the form of Sears Gallery. Named the Laura Davidson Sears Gallery of Fine Arts at its formal dedication in 1924, Sears Gallery housed a world-class collection of works by internationally known artists. Artists such as Charles Wilson Peale, Albert Bierstadt, Benjamin West, Thomas Cole, Anna Hyatt Huntington, Gilbert Stewart, and others. The Sears Gallery and Museum is open to our students today, and I urge everyone here to visit this special place when you get a chance. EA has a long history of service and a long tradition of helping others. Over 100 EA men and women served during World War I. Over 300 students and faculty served in World War II. One of them, Norm Aiken, class of 1938, was shot down in his P-41 fighter and survived many months as a Nazi prisoner of war. EA was mobilized by this global conflict, as was the nation. Girls in the Ichlorian Club rolled bandages for the Red Cross, prepared packages for alumni stationed overseas, and organized a book drive for men in the Merchant Marine. It was not uncommon for senior boys to be drafted right out of the classroom or to volunteer. These young men and women took the time to make a difference. They took the time to improve their world. Consider, if you will, their dedication and commitment. Well, the Sears family, Leverett Kelly, George Sherman, Norm Aiken, and many others associated with EA were true leaders in their time and in their world. Here and now, I call upon you to follow in their footsteps by offering leadership in your time and for your world. Unlike our EA predecessors, you, the class of 2014, and the 158th graduating class of our school, will leave the cloistered beauty and safety of this excellent campus to enter a global environment, an interconnected world both diminished and enhanced by technology, where safety and comfort and success vie with danger, violence, and inhuman levels of poverty. A world in which, in some places, women are bought, sold, and sometimes killed in the name of male-dominated and misogynistic systems of faith and tradition. The internet spans the globe with its web of technological wonders, yet today, in 2014, children still die of starvation. Women are kept as brutalized slaves, and men are forced to perform hard labor in exploitive, unregulated industries. Hard labor in dangerous conditions which allow global consumers like ourselves access to low prices every day, always, on tens of thousands of products, whether we need them or not. So, be true to yourselves, Jordan, Shaz, Elaine, Emily, and Maddie. Go out and change your world. Bring Michael G., Brandon, Ethan, Sophia, Kevin, and Max S. along for their financial skills. Money never hurts as long as you do some good with it. Be energetic as you embrace your world and interpret your challenges. Follow the lead of Jamel, Renee, Makina, Khadijah, and Christina. Energy brings success. And don't forget to have some fun and relax a little. Don't take yourself too seriously. Follow the lead of Cameron, and Mira, Becca, Max C., and Susanna while you're embracing global challenges. And if you need a little celebrity help, ask Alex, Phoebe, Jen, Veronica, and Lauren to pitch in. You see, meaningful change requires a lot of work, a lot of help, and especially a lot of time. And time, you know, can never be replaced. Finally, use your skills, determination, and drive to help those in need. Michael P., Hannah, Jack, Hannah S., Mandy, and Anna, you have the ability to help those who struggle. You have the ability to make a difference. Class of 2014, we are very proud of you, and all of us know that you will change our world for the better. So, by way of peroration, I would first like to thank our head of school, Seth Hanford, and our Board of Trustees, led by Chairman Fred Masnato, for allowing me the pleasure of speaking before you and the Elgin Academy community. It is indeed an honor, and I humbly thank you. I intend to promote, assist, nurture, and, yes, donate to EA every year of my life and beyond. Elgin Academy is an academic force that is rarely found, and I invite all of you to join me in continuing to support our school in any way that you can. Class of 2014, we have been taught by the best academics in the world. They have guided us and shaped us and now it is up to all of us to fulfill our responsibility to make our global environment a better place in which to live. As this moment recedes into history and shared memory, remember its importance. Remember the significance of this gathering as we prepare to do good in the world. But for right now, family and friends are traveling to congratulate you on your achievement. Tables must be set, food plated, beverages chilled, and so we must bid each other a fond farewell. Class of 2014, I wish you much success in life. Long live Academy, and endeavor to persevere. Thank you.
As the student body president, I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank Mr. Weck for his words of advice, support, and encouragement. In addition, we are so thankful for your willingness to speak to us today. There is much to learn in what you said, and we appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us today. On behalf of my classmates, I would like to thank you for spending our commencement day with us and sharing your wisdom. Please accept these Elgin Academy gifts as an enduring expression of our appreciation to you.
By tradition, the first distinguished award given at commencement is the Mother-Daughter Award, which is presented to the girl graduate who best typifies the ideals and character of Elgin Academy. The recipient of this award was selected by the faculty and by secret ballot, and in fact, numerous secret ballots, I am told. Therefore, the recipient will be a surprise to the faculty as it is to the awardee. This year's awardee has all the characteristics we want in a graduate. Her teachers describe her as intellectually mature, with an enormous capacity to read closely and make connections. Crucially important skills that are necessary for a student to truly understand the subtleties of context. She is a consistent contributor in her classes, often demonstrating when doing so an incisive wit. This student has very notable talents that make her extremely well-rounded, and has undertaken advanced classes in areas as diverse as music, theater, and mathematics. Ultimately, she's a very successful student because, as her advisor said, she thrives in academic situations, and she has a notable desire to learn broadly for all of the right reasons. She is far from an isolated academic, however. Rather, she embraces a community-mindedness that is laudable. She has served in numerous leadership roles, both in and out of the classroom, and she does so with what appears to be the perfect mix of organization, decisiveness, and compassion. The result of this compilation of traits is a stellar GPA, myriad recognitions by local, regional, state, and national sources, and the general knowledge among all that she is an excellent student and community member who cares just as deeply for others and their learning as she does for her own. This student has also employed these skills in her exemplary work ethic outside of the classroom. She has been involved deeply in music and theater, both within our walls and outside of them. She has worked actively to serve her community, helping to organize our prom, playing a role in our student government, and volunteering her time to numerous local causes. This young scholar mixes her unique and nuanced understanding of the world with the causes important to her in an unusually active way. We have benefited from this, and we have no doubt that her college will as well. Notably, in so many of these cases, her emphasis is on bringing the things she loves to others. Because of this, her service and leadership contain an unusual level of sincerity and joy. One cannot help but be influenced by this infectious enthusiasm. In fact, I can vouch for that from personal experience, as I was the particular recipient of some well-conceived advice on popularity, delivered skillfully and in a very public place. All the while with this year's recipient twirling elegantly in a wheelchair. I have tried to take her words to heart, but as the song that I now cannot get out of my head forlornly notes, I will never be as popular as her. Maddie Dullebaum joined our community just last year, seeking a different academic challenge, and her impact has been exponential. She moved seamlessly from a successful career to another successful career, making this place work for her, not the other way around. She made a difference immediately and has just kept doing so, making us better the whole time. We have truly benefited from her presence here, and we know that in the coming years, DePaul and the world at large will as well. In the end, you want the Mother-Daughter Award to be given to your best, someone who can represent your school and all that it truly stands for. And you want it to be given to someone who will represent it in only the best light. Madeline Dullebaum is that person. I am thrilled to have the honor of presenting her with this award on behalf of the Elgin Academy faculty. Maddie.
The Ora L. Pelton Award is presented to the boy graduate who best typifies the ideals and character of Elgin Academy. The recipient of this award was also selected by the faculty by secret ballot, and this announcement will also be a surprise to them. I would like to begin by reading you some faculty comments about this student. He gets distracted and easily bored. He spends a lot of time socializing with friends, and he loses focus. He also struggles considerably on writing assignments, and he must become a more consistent student. Now, I realize that these statements are not in line with the student who should be the recipient of an Ora L. Pelton Award, but let me now provide you with some context. This student first came to Elgin Academy in 9th grade, and these comments were given by teachers in the first quarter that year, only 2 months after he had been here. Please also keep in mind that the Ora Pelton Award is to the boy graduate who best typifies the ideals and character of Elgin Academy, not to the 9th grade boy who has already perfected these ideals. Therefore, I feel like I would be remiss in telling this student's story without starting at the beginning, regardless of how rocky it was. This year's recipient instead illustrates the type of transitions that can happen at Elgin Academy, a school where faculty are caring and patient. Parents are understanding that there could be some rough patches along the way, and students are willing to take risks and make adjustments as they traverse and grow through their teenage years. So let me now read some teacher comments about this student as he prepares to graduate as a senior. He has been incredible. I am so pleased with his enthusiasm and drive. I am very excited that he is going with us on the trip to Nicaragua. He will be a great asset to our group. He is an excellent art student. I wish I had more like him. And finally, his diligence on his college essay was impressive. He wrote multiple drafts and sought feedback on each draft and gracefully revised his work. The last paragraph of his semester advisor letter really sums up his time here at Elgin Academy. His success here at Elgin Academy has been the result of his sincere desire to do well, combined with his willingness to do the work. He has grown into a delightful young man who has proved himself that he is fully capable of doing anything if he puts his mind to it. He has also managed to find a graceful balance between working in his family's restaurant and his academics. All of this will serve him well as he continues his education. It has been a pleasure to be his advisor. On behalf of the upper school faculty, I am so pleased to announce that the 2014 Ora Pelton Award winner is Kevin Rialzola, a young man who has transformed himself into a strong student, an exemplary community servant, a great friend, and the sort of person you want around when you need help. Kevin is the type of student to whom we can refer to as a role model to struggling students. He is proof that hard work, dedication, and integrity, with that you can make the most of your time at Elgin Academy. He will continue his growth and share his gifts and talents at Carthage College, and we look forward to hearing about how he has made the world around him better as he has done here. It is with extraordinary pleasure that I now present the 2014 Ora Pelton Award to Kevin Rialzola. Now I'll ask members of the class to please join the choir. The time has now come for us to celebrate with the class of 2014 the completion of their upper school experience. Joining us on behalf of the Alumni Advisory Board will be Rafa Zare EA Class of 2006. Ms. Zaray will be welcoming each of today's graduates into the ranks of the Alumni Association. In a moment, I will signal for the first section of the Elgin Academy Class of 2014 to rise in preparation for the conferring of the diplomas. First, I am pleased to call forward Mr. Fred Fletcher, the senior member of the distinguished faculty assembled behind me. Mr. Fletcher is completing his 42nd year of teaching on this campus.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chairman Masnado, on behalf of Mr. Hanford, the administration, and my teaching colleagues, it is a genuine pleasure and an honor to inform you that these candidates for graduation have successfully completed the prescribed course of study as approved by this faculty and are thereby entitled to receive an Elgin Academy diploma. We, their teachers, proudly recommend them to you for the conferring of diplomas and assure you that they are ready to use the knowledge that they have gained here in order to lead their lives with confidence and compassion.
I ask that the first row of graduates please rise. Elaine Marie Balassi. McKenna Elaine Watanabe Barrickman. Susanna Rose Kane. Christina Kaylin Calderon. Max Kwan Cho. Veronica Renee Clements. Mira Lanai Mahan Duffy. Madeline Grace Dulabaum. Lauren Caitlin Farboda. Michael William Garrett. Ho Yoon Phoebe Sue. Hannah Alexis Ivanovich. Jumel Wilson Julian. Khadija Ahmad Khan. Miranda Christine Cusick. Anna Louise Lowell. I will now ask the first row to be seated and for the second row to rise. Brandon James Masukawa. Rebecca Potter May. Michael George Palmer. Jin Young Park. Renee F. Peterson. Alexandra Payton. Kevin David Rialzola. Emily Joy Solomon. Shazia Erica Siddiqui. Sophia Beatriz Toso Skoke. Cameron J. Smith. James Frederick Unkwajoyo Suk. Hannah Elizabeth Stultz. Maxwell Tyler Swinton. Ethan Thomas Vargas. Jordan Grace Yavari. Front row, please rise to join your classmates as we recognize another time the graduating class of 2014. You may be seated.
Well, I have to admit that I feel a little bit badly. See, my job here is to give a charge to the class. It's become a tradition here at the Academy. I joked last year that I hope to have the effect of speaking words so inspirational and motivating that you would charge off the stage, run off campus, only stopping to say thank you to your parents and to drop off a check in our development office, to join the Peace Corps or City Year or one of those things. Didn't work last year, but I'm back again to try because I'm nothing if not persistent. So I had a whole speech written that was going to take care of the charge and my obligatory Mr. Fletcher has been here a long time and is old reference. But it was all about my hopes that you would mirror this mathematical formula. And so it's been used already. Actually, that's not true. I still don't understand that really. But you have, in fact, received quite a bit of advice over the last months. I could try to form some of that into a charge. You received some formally at the baccalaureate dinner today, earlier in May at the senior luncheon, all solid, all worthy of being heeded. Some of you may even remember that earlier in your upper school career, in a somewhat stilted attempt to give you advice, I shared with you portions of Stephen Colbert's Northwestern commencement address from 2011, at which he said, quote, "You have been told to follow your dream, but what if it's a stupid dream?" He was using that not as a way to mock dreams, far from it, but rather as a way to encourage graduates to be willing to change their minds and follow their passions. After all, if people never changed dreams, America would be full only of cowboys and princesses. So I don't feel as if I have many original words to add to this canon of graduation speeches and charges, especially to a class that is this accomplished, community-minded, and multi-talented. You are going to succeed in many different things, and you are going to make us proud. So rather than add, I will borrow, not from a graduation speech, but from a presidential address that gives solid advice for a well-lived life, one that I think is in keeping with Elgin Academy's lofty mission. This might be familiar to some of you. It's a famous speech from Theodore Roosevelt, and I hope that it is not unduly cliche. Nevertheless, I think it fits this occasion and my hopes for you. After his presidency, in a 1910 speech about citizenship, Theodore Roosevelt famously said, quote, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could actually have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Class of 2014, I challenge you to assume your rightful place in the arena. I challenge you to heed Roosevelt's words about success and failure. And as I stand here, I hope we have done our part in helping you learn these values here. I think we have. I challenge you to never succumb to the all too human temptation to be the one who points out how the strong man stumbles, without ever assuming position where you yourself might stumble. Believe his words that great enthusiasm and great devotions to a worthy cause lead to achievement. And finally, I challenge you to understand and embrace Roosevelt's idea that failure can only come if you in fact never venture into that arena. You are poised to make a difference that can only be made within it. You have learned subjects that will help you do so. You have demonstrated compassion that render you capable of understanding the complicated issues necessary. And you have leadership qualities that will make you more than mere participants. Therefore, on behalf of your faculty, I wish you a productive life, well lived, always within the arena. Congratulations.
Graduating members of the choir, please join the ensemble. We will first invite everyone to stand to sing the Elgin Academy hymn. Please note the words and music are inserted in your program, and that there is a new second verse this year in honor of our 175th anniversary.
West, when I went all grow up, we all move out and get out of our hometowns. We all get jobs, some break the law, some roll the lines into the ground. But I'll miss a day sneaking with my friends around the neighborhood, pretending that we were bad when really we were good. Yes, we all left, we don't live here anymore.
As our commencement exercises come to a close this morning, congratulations once again to the class of 2014 and their families on behalf of the EA faculty, staff, administration, and trustees. We ask that you remain seated during the recessional, during which the class of 2014 will lead us. After the receiving line, if your family wishes to have an official photograph taken with your graduate, please assemble near the tree in the back. We welcome you to join the reception under the tents thanks to the gracious work of dedicated parents. Graduates, please rise. Please join me one last time in recognizing the 158th graduating Elgin Academy class of 2014. Graduates, you may toss your caps.
Thank you.